Welcome back. Now, as concerns for the environment increase, is it time to consider an eco-Christmas?
Well, campaigners, including actress Emma Thompson, are encouraging people to ban cards, stop using wrapping paper and even rent your Christmas tree.
Well, we're joined now by Friends of the Earth supporter Clare Oxborrow, who thinks we need to be more eco-friendly, and Georgina Fuller, who says we should stay decadent during the festive season. And good morning to both of you. So, Georgina, let's start with you first of all. Christmas in your house, what does it look like?
We love Christmas. We have a very traditional Christmas. We have, obviously, a big tree, which we always like to... We don't like plastic trees. We do buy a tree, but we use it for firewood afterwards. And we have fairy lights, and we have lots of decorations, lots of presents, lots of friends over. You know, And
you're quite, eco the rest of the year. You're sort of careful with things.
That's
you're
right.
recycling as a family. But at Christmas, this is just a time where you press pause on that.
Yes, yeah, I'd say for kind of 11 months of the year, we're obviously, as with everybody, we're concerned about recycling and single-use plastic, and we're very, very environmentally conscious, but we let ourselves go at this time of year. It's not something that I want to be worrying about, really. I don't want to take the joy out of Christmas.
But you know
much.
that you buy the cheaper wrapping paper, harder to recycle. I mean, you know that the things that you're buying don't have a nod to being eco-friendly. And are you saying then, in that case, listen, to hell with the environment at Christmas, you know, let's just push the boat out?
I think that's a bit extreme, but I think that cost comes into it. I've got 3 children. I'm self-employed. You know, I will often go for a cheaper option if it's like a 2 for 3 on wrapping paper. Yeah. Obviously, I prefer to buy the best kind of local meat or organic or the most environmentally, but that doesn't always happen. And I've got, you know, a daughter that's like a little magpie with all things shiny and glitter and plastic, and she loves My Little Pony and she loves Barbie, and all of that stuff is obviously terrible for the environment, but I'm not going to buy it for her.
Because it's Christmas.
Yes.
All right, well, let's speak to Claire then, because your Christmas is very different to that, aren't you? Because you're much more conscious of things that are around you.
Well, we are, but to be honest, I recognise a lot of what Georgina says. So again, you know, we have 2 small children. We want to make Christmas fun for them, but there are ways to do that and still be environmentally friendly.
So what should she be doing instead?
So, for example, you know, with the wrapping paper, you can make your own wrapping paper, buying, you know, like these gorgeous presents here wrapped in twine. Buying paper that can then be recycled afterwards, because a lot of the paper contains plastic, can't be recycled afterwards. Again, with cards, making your own, and reusing things for next year. So I think one of the big issues is, you know, at Christmas we generate 30% more waste than at other times of the year, and that's all waste that has been produced and caused greenhouse gas emissions and has to be disposed of.
Well,
and so that needs to be tackled.
Around 7 million Christmas trees end up in landfill in the UK every year, which accounts for 100,000 tonnes of greenhouse gases. And so the suggestion is you rent your tree.
Well, I just think that's such a fantastic idea. And I only came across this year, and I'm going to look into it for myself, because I love a real tree. You sort of, you know, ideally, you know, plastic trees eventually will end up in landfill or incineration. And the great thing about renting a tree is you get the joy of the real tree. And after Christmas, it goes back to the nursery. They look after it for another year. And in some places, you can even get the same tree back again, which is really lovely.
I think that's a great idea, but I'd be interested to see how expensive it was, because I do think that is a factor, cost and convenience. But I think it's a lovely idea.
Presumably that's on the back of some sort of van.
And we can use a tree and chop it up and use it for firewood, you know, with a wood burner.
And what about, though, what was said here about the fact that you are very environmentally conscious throughout the whole year. You know, at Christmas, it's doom and gloom everywhere. I mean, it's Christmas.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And do you know what? It shouldn't be that hard to be green at Christmas. And this is where, you know, often we feel so guilty as individuals about what we're doing. But really, the government should be doing a lot more to make it much easier to choose to be.
I mean, if you buy children's toys, I mean, the amount of packaging, they're in plastic, then they're in this, and then they're in this, and then it comes in a big sealed thing, and the toy's plastic.
And then it breaks after 5 minutes.
And it really does. I mean, it seems like the response, but the pressure on parents to be able to be green at Christmas is huge.
And
but
especially mums who are already really stressed, you know, it is such a busy time of year. You are going to, choose convenience sometimes, you know, if something is ready, prepared potatoes or whatever, they come in plastic packaging, but they save you having to, I don't know, spend however long preparing them.
You say the government is to blame, but isn't the onus on the companies? And I always say this about, you know, supermarkets. you know, we've been led into this. You want perfect food. You want everything to look great. You want your toys to be perfectly presented. But if somebody broke the mould and said, look, OK, look, I've just done how to spend it, so picking Christmas presents for Christmas. The amount of plastic I saw was astonishing. So the onus should be on the companies. Don't make it.
Yeah, absolutely. But the companies aren't going to do it unless, A, either all their customers are demanding it, and that is starting to happen. So John Lewis now, in their Christmas crackers, they've moved away from plastic in the cracker presents. There's metal and glass and things. But, you know, that needs to be quite a lot of pressure coming from individuals. And again, that's down to us to put the pressure on the companies. So we need the government to step in as well. And this is where Friends of the Earth has tried to bring in a plastic pollution bill through Parliament to actually phase out all but the most essential use of plastic, which is critical. And so we don't have to make those really difficult choices in the shops.
And hopefully, for a family on a budget, there'll be stuff available that you could actually afford and also enjoy Christmas and not feel guilty.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the guilt, I think everybody feels that. I think it's something that we're so aware of, you can't not be. So one time of year where you don't have to, you know, worry about it too much and you can still enjoy it.
Thank you both very much and happy Christmas to both of you.